Hiya, homies! That was a neat effect, wasn't it? Probably caught you off guard. I just faded in like a ghost. Alright, we already got some comments. Eric Grant is joining us. Well, actually, no, he's not joining us. He's saying, I won't be able to make this one. I'm taking the stage and dropping in to say hi, hiya. Get that immortalized here, right? And that's good live in this page. I'll be sure to watch the video. Take care, everyone. No problem, bro. Thanks for coming in to say hi. As is expected, everything Gem is here. She's so excited. You know what? That's a little for something that you just love, male dude. Well, yeah, but yeah, so Forge is very excited. You know what? Let me know what you do. John Ellis, howdy! Hey, John. I just heard that we're going to have our very first ever director commentary, creator commentary on the latest episode of the first episode of season 2 of Cartoon Commotion. Remember when Gem won because she lost? And I did mention this on a sort of spontaneous live stream I had with a friend, Ryan Carmisi. His show is And I Quote. And we had a conversation about this. And we did some new subscribers for this, so hopefully you guys are here to chat live about it, because that's what it's all about, having a conversation about the episode. Alright, so I'm actually going to pull it up in the editor. Hello! Booyah! We're going to turn off the music and start it as possible, but we are still waiting for some homies to show up, because this is live stream. And what kind of a live stream would we have a live conversation with? Oh! John, you're saying the music is drowning me out. Okay. Oh, that's weird. Well, you know what it is? I'm probably turned down. Yeah, I think I'm turned down in the audio cable thing. I had to install an audio cable thing it's a virtual cable just to pump the sound from my video editor into the live stream. But the music is off now, so hopefully you can hear me. Hang on. Let's see if I can turn it. Am I coming in clearer? Can you hear me now? This is a commercial for Verizon. Can you hear me now? Much better, John says. But how about now, John? Is it even better now, or is it, or am I too obnoxiously loud now? Okay, John says yes. So I'm presuming you're not saying I'm too obnoxiously loud, because that would be kind of harsh, bro. I'm just kidding. Anywho, we are going to have a bit of a mix of audio here, because this is not the only audio coming through. We've also got the digital audio. Oh, John says I'm lagging. No problems, dude. No problems. And actually, if you want, there should be like a button on the bottom left of the screen where it says live. If you tap the live button, it'll bump you right up to the front. So hopefully that will work. I'm gonna take the banner down, and we're just gonna roll with it. Whoever shows up, shows up. It'd be great to have you here, have a conversation, because that's what this is all about, having a convo about the show. And I actually got to bump this back a little bit. So one thing I'm doing new with this season is I'm putting a VHS tape right up in front, and that tape is the thumbnail. So the vibe I'm looking to give you is that you're pulling a VHS either out of the box or off the shelf and popping it into the VCR. And you'll notice that here with the sound effect. All right, now, before I continue, I need some feedback on that sound. Not just how it sounded in the video, but also how it sounds in the live stream. Because again, I'm using new audio equipment here, and I want to make sure you guys can hear it good. John, I think you're the only one that's consistently here, so let me know. He says, very nostalgic. Awesome. I'm so glad you like that. Okay, so yeah, let me know if it sounds good coming through the live stream. But yes, the idea is to give you that vibe that you are pulling a tape off the shelf and you're popping it in the player. And you'll notice something here I do behind the tape is I'll use an actual scene from the cartoon. And that is that is an Easter egg that I do in every episode. And I'm pointing this out to you guys here because I think everyone who shows up here, you guys are going to be the only ones. You homies are going to be the only ones that know of these Easter eggs. Check this out. So this performance here is actually the performance at the end of the episode. But I'm putting it up front because what I'm doing is I'm tying together the plot. I'm tying point A to point B to point C. It's like, like the whole 3-act structure. This is the third act, but you're seeing it at the beginning. So that's the Easter egg. At pretty much every episode, I will take a clip or a screenshot from the very end of the episode and put it right up at the front. And it'll be right underneath the tape as it moves upwards. So watch this. You notice how that was moving? It's because that was an actual moving clip. I just slowed it down. Isn't that neat? Aubrey, thanks for joining us. Aubrey from Back of the Cereal Box, our flagship show of the Cereal Box Network. Gotta plug them real quick. If you haven't heard, we are a part of the Cereal Box Network, www.cerealboxnetwork.com. Okie dokie, I have done my contribution. That is it. Now we're going to get back on track. But yeah, it's still great to have you, Aubrey. And if you want to weigh in, have some comments on here, that'll be great to hear from you. But yeah, like that's the whole Easter egg. Now let's just move on from that. Oh, I guess first I will mention also the title on the VHS was the original title of the episode, but the idea is that it's not the exact same title. So I went with this. And remember when Jem won because she lost just makes more sense. J-Man, Julian Murray. So good to see you, dude. Glad you're here. So the idea with the title on the VHS is like worth is capitalized because that's the emphasis. I mean, I thought like to do the whole word, but I think it's more artistically interesting this way. I mean, if you guys think differently, let me know. It'd be interesting to hear what you have to weigh in on that. what you think about that. All right. Ever work real hard to get somewhere that you wanted to be, only to discover that what you worked so hard for isn't really what you thought it would be?
Maybe.
Have you ever noticed when the slimiest characters get a major win and feel like that's undeserved?
Now that's something I can relate to.
Well, and see, the reason I rephrased that was because I was thinking the first phrasing of that question is actually less relatable than the second phrasing of the question. So it's not just for the sake of extending the intro. It's actually for reframing it in a way that's more widely relatable. Homie, Jem and the Holograms didn't just teach us about being selfless. It also taught us the value of a true victory. And the reason I said that it didn't just teach us about being selfless is because that's a callback to my first Jem video. The first one that's like 2 minutes long. It's like Jem taught us how to be selfless, or so. I got to get the correct title on that. But the idea is that whole video taught us what Jem was saying from the very beginning about being selfless. And so what I'm doing in this intro is I'm saying, hey, listen, we're not going down that path again. That's already been covered. If you want that story, we have a video on that. We have a video about Jem in selflessness. And I'll pull up the thumbnail later at the end of this. But somebody remind me, put a pin in that I got to pull up the thumbnail after this. So hearing that again, you'll understand better what I'm saying. Jem and the Holograms didn't just teach us about being selfless. It also taught us the value of a true victory. So sit back and get ready for a deep take as we rewind, relive, and reflect on that time that Jem actually won because she lost.
Let's go back in time. We can just hit rewind. What a terrific notion. Start to commotion.
Everything Jem commented on our video, on this video today, that our intro is iconic. Thank you very much, Everything Jem. If you're here, let us know. Let's rewind to season 1's episodes 13 and 14, the Music Awards. Both episodes tied together perfectly, but the second episode's epic conclusion is really what we're going to zone in on right now. Yeah, I gotta say this real quick. So before coming to this live stream tonight, I said I'm gonna rewatch the episodes, and I rewatched the whole first episode of the two-parter, Music Awards Part 1, Music Awards Part 2, but I did not finish the second episode. I barely started it, but this video is all about the second episode. So rewatching the first episode for context, I did weigh in on I keep saying weigh in. I did write down some ideas, some thoughts from that first episode. So I got them on a piece of paper here. So Jem actually almost didn't play at the benefit concert in the first episode. She chose to do the music awards, but then with the three girls running away, Deidre and Bonnie and Chrissy, they ran away, so that changed her mind. So that made her make up her mind. And that's interesting to think about, because when you think about the original plot with them running away, it kind of felt like a lot was going on and distracting you from the main plot, but she wouldn't have she wouldn't have made up her mind and done the benefit concert if not for the girls running away. So it did have purpose. And I like that this event, this whole side plot that kind of feels like a distraction from the main plot, was actually a radical part of the main story. And Bonnie is one of the girls. I gotta mention this. Bonnie is one of the girls that ran away. Now, I know she's young. I don't know how young she is, but I know she's really young. She'd have to be if she was to forget that earlier on in the series, like not much earlier, Jem generated the funds for an eye I believe it was eyes. Her eyes needed an operation. Like, who forgets that somebody raised money for them to like have an eye surgery done on them? Like that, I just thinking back to that, I kind of feel like maybe Bonnie is a little too young in this situation, just didn't realize what they were really doing, because had she really stopped and thought about that, she wouldn't have run away from the people that paid for her eye surgery. I'm just saying. All right, so moving on, the first part of the Music Awards is basically set up for the second part. And John Ellis says, "You weren't kidding about this being a plot-packed episode. I forgot this was the one with the infamous laser hang glider stunt. That actually, I think that was a different episode, because it definitely didn't happen in the first part. I gotta remember. I think if it did happen in this, it was in the second part, because it didn't happen in the first part. I'll verify that later, John. But I know this is where they introduce Tech Rat, I think is his name. And he is basically the Misfits version of Mindbender. All right, so Jiggy had to weigh in on this. Exactamundo, Jiggy Bud, because that's the most gold nugget in the episode. I mean, there were like 3 totally different stories happening inside of it. I don't usually use clips from cartoons that are outside of the cartoon that I'm talking about, but I felt the need of using these visuals to illustrate what I'm talking about, like this one with Bugs Bunny and the giant gold nugget. And the thing is, I literally just watched that episode of Looney Tunes like the night before I made this episode. I was just like, it's too good. I gotta put it in there. So 3. Oh, hey, John says Jerica's best friends were all troubled kids her mom adopted. Yep. I imagine the modern girls running away hit her right in the heart. Yes. That does make a lot of sense. I mean, she grew up in this house, the Starlight House. And yes, it was in the second part's opening. Okay, yeah, okay. Because I literally have it paused over in the other room. I'm returning to it as soon as I'm done here with this. I remember the scene you're describing, but I couldn't remember if it was from this specific situation or if that happened later. I'm sure that he's created a ton of inventions throughout the series, but I remember what you're talking about. Like, she flies the glider out and then she burns over the billboard with a giant laser. Tech Rat, Chris Latta using creepy voice. I thought that was Chris Latta, dude. I thought that was Chris Latta. For context, anyone who doesn't know, and they should know, that's Cobra Commander and Starscream of G.I. Joe and Transformers, respectfully. I mean, technically definitive for both of them, but Anyway, we're going to back it up just a little bit because I think some context might be lost. Here we go. So, I mean, there were like 3 totally different stories happening inside of this 2-parter that the creative team did a mondo excellent job of connecting, but this one is by far the one that we really need to zone in on. There's a major shindig in the music community stirring up excitement, the Music Award. As the title would imply. Jem and the Holograms were a total shoot. Did you catch that? I love that gag. Because, like, you got this, like, build up, and then it's just wah wah. Like, it's so obvious it's the Music Awards. Why are you recapping the fact that it's the Music Awards? I love joking about my own stupidity or lack of understanding of what I'm talking about, because it's just so easy. It's just so easy to make fun of myself and make it fun. Like, here, listen. Zone in on. There's a major shindig in the music community stirring up excitement, the Music Award. Ta-da! As the title would imply. As the title would imply. See, like, I'm like, dude, you already know it's the Music Awards. There's a major shindig. Anyway. Well, this got smaller. Hang on. Well, we can make it a little bigger. We can make it a little big. Okay. I think that's literally as big as it gets. Okay. If it's too big or too small, you guys let me know, and I'll try to make it bigger. But I also kind of want to show you guys the timeline down here, because this is like the layers that I have to add to make things work. Like right here, we have a filter that's like, what's it called? Vertigo filter, and I can make that super blurry. They're super blurry, but this makes more sense because you can still read it. Whoever did the paint job on this sign was really lazy. I mean, look at how they skimped out on the font. You could barely read that. I had to zoom in on the picture just for you to read it. Okay, John Ellis says, oh wait, I was wrong. Tech Rat is Charlie Adler. Okay, well that also kind of makes sense. Didn't Charlie Adler also play Eric Raymond? I'm pretty sure he's also the voice of Eric Raymond. You can feel free to correct me on that if I'm wrong, because being wrong is an opportunity to learn what is right. All right, so big event, Music Awards, and Bromp Womp. Music Award. As the title would imply. Jem and the Holograms were a total shoo-in for victory, a guaranteed winner. But something came up. A new friend named Dance with an S because it's cooler. She asked the Holograms to... That's kind of a running gag around here for Cartoon Commotion. I always say, with this other letter because it's cooler. Like, I think we had on... The first time I did that was... with Super Cool. And it was with a Q, and I was like, with a Q, because it's cooler. And I just liked how it sounded. So I don't know if you guys are getting a kick out of it, but I think I'm going to keep it going just because that's my personality. I say that literally all the time to about everything. If there's like a replacement letter, like dance with an S because it's cooler. It's great. All right, John Ellis says Eric and Buster Bunny. I knew it. I knew he was Buster Bunny. I don't know if everyone else knew if he was Buster Bunny or not. So if you guys are learning for the first time, Charlie Adler is Buster Bunny, Eric Raymond, and Tech Rat. Completely different shows, but it's all relevant. Matthew Carter says, hey, Kate, it's great to be here. I've been watching clips of Rambo, The Force of Freedom. Maybe someday you'll analyze it. It'll be neat. I hope to get it on DVD for my birthday this year. Well, that's cool, dude. That'd be great, man. You'll have to share pictures in the Cartoon Commotion Homies group on Facebook. It'd be great to see those. Clips of Rambo, The Force of Freedom. So Rambo is on the list. It's kind of later on the list because, trust me, this list is extensive and there's already a good number of movie-based animated series that I'm going to cover on here, like Men in Black, the animated series, and potentially RoboCop, the animated series. And Alpha Commando could be on there also. John Ellis says, Christy Marks apparently considered this a favorite episode and wanted to do a follow-up about Danny, the boy that the Starlight Girls meet. Yeah, I know. Danny, man. Danny's story was great. Did you guys see the clip I shared on Facebook today? It was the clip where they're all meeting in, I think it's like a bus. Yeah, it's like a worn out bus. And they're all talking about their situations. And Danny's like the only one who has any valid reason for running away because his dad is an abusive jerk that kicked him out. So it was a very, very funny scene, ironically, because, oh, Jay, man, I got to play that for you, man. The clip is like, they're talking about, so Danny's addressing the girls and he's like, why'd you guys run away? What's so bad about your life that you had to run away? And they're like, well, actually we had it pretty great. We had a swimming pool, a big mansion. We were rolling in the dough. we were living it up. And he's like, you three must be the stupidest girls I've ever met. Okay, John Ellis adds a caveat or additional information to the Christy Marks comment. Apparently, she couldn't get approval of his story because as his story was too depressing. Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, I can understand that a little bit. Not necessarily agree with the fact that they censored that story because it feels like that deserves some attention. Right on, man. I mean, Danny was a great character, and I would like to see some more of him. I don't know. I'll be honest, I've seen about a half of the series of Gem and the Holograms, and I'm still watching, and I'm still analyzing, and I'm still finding awesome stuff to cover here on Cartoon Commotion. Because Gem and the Holograms is a deep, layered animated series. I absolutely love it. So, and Charlie Adler, according to Matthew Carter, also voiced Dr. Robotnik's assistant, Snively. Snively, come here, Snively. In Sonic the Hedgehog. That's Sat AM for hardcore Sonic fans. Also, Keanu Reeves will be voicing Shadow the Hedgehog in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Whoa, that is something I never thought I'd ever hear, ever. That apparently Ted from Bill and Ted is going to be voicing Shadow in the new Sonic movie. Matthew, great stuff as always, but we're talking about Gem and the Holograms here, bro. John Ellis says, my favorite line is when Eric finds out that Tech Rat let the Misfits loose with high-powered laser. I remember that. That was great. You did what? Okay, so getting back on track here. I'm going to back it up just a little bit. Dance with an S because it's cooler. S because it's cooler. She asked the Holograms to perform at their benefit concert for the Haven House for runaway teens. They quickly agreed to it, not realizing it was the same night as the music awards. So after a very serious rethinking of their arrangement, they wound up choosing to do the benefit concert over the award show. This was outrageously good news for the Misfits, because That's a repeating gag because earlier I was like, as the title would imply, and then womp womp, and then outrageously good news. And you'll notice I tied in the word outrageous to be thematic. Thematic. So you get outrageously good news for the Misfits, and then you hear wah. Outrageously good news for the Misfits, because even though they were the worst of crooks before this and they totally deserve to be canned with Gem, I absolutely love this effect. Okay, so this is a green screen effect I got from YouTube, and it's just the jail doors closing over them. So first we have this zoom in, and it's very subtle, and it just slowly goes in, and then it stops. And this effect only goes up to here, right where the jail doors come in. And then the jail doors slam. And I think, yeah, so this actually has sound, but I brought in a sound effect of jail doors closing because I wanted it to sound more echoey and authentic. So this is like, I think the jail doors are from a video game, and this music or this sound effect is from something else, like maybe just a generic sound effect of jail doors closing. But I love this thing because, like, first you're just seeing like static images of the band, and then boom, animation. I think that's awesome. And then if you're just listening to it, if it's just a podcast, just the audio version, you still get the effect because you hear the jail doors. So I say, because I say they were the worst of crooks before this. So even though they were the worst of crooks before this and they totally deserve to be canned with Gem out of the way, there was no. So it's like it's contrary to the obvious what should be happening. You get what is happening. Way that they could possibly lose. And I like this effect too because I think this is something that I want to do more of, is utilizing silence and blackness, because you see it just a blank screen, but what I see is a moment to breathe. You get this glimpse of nothing, which is just like a transition, right? But in other YouTube videos where they're trying to get your attention or they're really keeping you glued to the screen, they don't give you a second to just hear music, just a brief second. They jam as much information into you as quickly as they possibly can so that they can hook you and keep you watching. And I think that's a little unfair to you because I want you to be able to completely comprehend, to take in all that I'm sharing, and giving you that little bit, that little blip of nothing is giving a pause so that you can clearly hear what I'm about to say and it doesn't just overlap. Because like, I'm going to jump into this pool full of jello, like that kind of video. They don't give you a second to think or listen. And I understand in that specific kind of video, it's all entertainment, so you don't really want a second to be bored. But here I am giving you the benefit of the doubt that you're going to stick around if you see a second or a half second of blackness. And to be clear, actually, this isn't even a second. It's like, how long is it? Let me see. If I go to export just the blackness on screen. So I'm going to hit export selection, and it's telling me it's literally not even coming up as a second long. I know I'm saying literally again. I'm catching myself here. Repeating words. I'm not going to do that. It's genuinely, it's sincerely, it is only like a millisecond, not even a second long of blackness. But see, that's me trusting you, understanding that you are capable of waiting a brief moment for me to give you more information. And I don't feel the need to force feed it to you like you can't comprehend it. Anyway, I've spent way too long talking about nothing. Literally. There I go again. All right. John Ellis says, is it true the Misfits crossed a lot of lines in this story? In this particular story, I mean, they do it in every story, right? But in this story, they basically held the kids hostage, made them work for them, and then took them to a concert just to get the Starlight House in trouble with Child Protective Services. So yeah, they cross the line all the time, bro. Matthew Carter says, if you're looking for sound effects of jail doors closing, try jail doors closing sound effects from the opening credits of Ernest Goes to Jail. That's actually a really good idea. I'll put a pin in that, man. I definitely don't need it right this second because I already have it here, but that's a great idea. John Ellis says, putting pedestrians in danger when they destroyed the billboard. Yep, there's that too. They really do not have a care in their bones for public safety, for if they murdered someone. Like I think it's in the second episode of the pilot. Like I can't remember exactly how many episodes the pilot was. Was it 3 or 4? I know it was a multi-part episode arc. I think it was in the second part. I know it's by the pool, and I think it's with Jerrica, not her alter ego, Jem. Spoilers. I think it's there that Pizzazz tries to murder Jem with a bulldozer. I could be wrong. Jerrica cannot be blamed for using synergy to give Pizzazz a scare. No, she cannot. All right, bro. I do have to hit play on this because I'm really putting a pause in between this area of blackness. But feel free to keep jumping in with more comments. I love it. Possibly lose. Pizzazz and her misfit crew entered the award show knowing that nobody else stood a chance against them.
How can we lose? We really don't have any competition.
The only ones that could possibly beat them were the holograms, and they quit on it. The slime balls, I mean the misfits, they took... All right, so I'm actually doing this deliberately. I said here that they quit on it, but the perspective is from the misfits, and then I switch perspectives from them to myself by saying the slime balls, and I try not to insert a lot of opinion in my analysis because analysis is not a review. It's taking what is literally it's taking what is there and it's putting a magnifying glass on it. It's bringing it to the surface, showing you exactly what is happening and what happened, not giving you my opinion. So this is me just putting a little bit more of my personality into my content, and I think it's fun.
How can we lose? We really don't have any competition.
The only ones that could possibly beat them were the holograms, and they... John Ellis says that tangerine orange feathered boa is a nicely tacky touch. Totally agree. You know, I kind of want to get one just for the fun of it. Oh, I jumped ahead on accident. See, when you go to hit play up here, it always bumps that button. We were back here. There we go.
Have any competition?
The only ones that could possibly beat them were the holograms, and they quit on it. The slime balls, I mean the misfits, they took home the trophy of... So, like I said, the slime balls, and then I switched it to the misfits. That, again, that's where you see the perspective shift. I was talking as the misfits in their point of view, and then I switched it to my personal point of view. Just trying to add a little context to that. I mean, the misfits, they took home the trophy, of course. Or at least Pizzazz did. Run. Okay, I have got to address this. So this sound effect, this is from Upbeat. I subscribe to Upbeat for all of my music and sound effects. Totally worth it. Because this hair guitar, let's see, hair guitar lick sound roll, this is like Bill and Ted. Listen to this. Did. On point jig. And then, of course, accompanied by the Deal With It sunglasses. I felt like Jiggy needed a little bit more going on with his visuals on this one. Jig. It might as well have been considered Pizzazz's trophy. See, I did this in still images on purpose because I wanted you to get the sense of what she was doing at the award show. She's literally saying hands off to her bandmate here. She was like elbowing her right there and saying, "This is mine." And so I did still images, and you get this like layered transition going on. The thing is that Pizzazz is actually pretty wealthy. She's the daughter of a majorly rich dude. So winning was literally everything to her. And there we go, saying literally in the video. I mean, listen, I know I'm repeating some words here and there, and that's just how it goes. But I do my best to not overuse the same word when I'm talking. At least in this, here we are in this show. I'm not going to do the same word over and over again on purpose. Maybe if I just say literally 500 times real quick. Literally. No, we're not going to do that. John Ellis says, Roxy took a lot of crud from Pizzazz in this episode. Yes, she did. Julian Murray says, love the deal with its sunglasses. I know, right, dude? They actually sell the pixelated sunglasses on Amazon. John Ellis says she was not hyped about her schemes and made some shockingly sensible for Roxy observations. Yeah, I know, because Stormer does that most of the time. So yeah, that was definitely a switch up. But I added in this scene. Let's see. I added in this visual. You've got the vertigo and magnify effect. So on the TV screen, it looks like it's kind of popping at you a little bit. And come back here. And what I do here is I transition from a moving picture to a still image, but give you the effect of motion still. I really liked that. Really rich dude. So winning was literally everything to her. Still, everything wasn't enough for Pizzazz. She wanted more. She wanted the respect. She wanted the thrill of glory. And she wanted to rub it in Jem's face personally. It was... Alright, so I'm glad that we finally got to this part, because that whole rub it in Jem's face personally sound effect, that switch up, was awesome. And let me know if you guys are you guys hearing the actual video very well? Because I am not checking this on YouTube right now. So please comment. Can you hear the actual video very well? There's a sound effect that switches right here. And it's a sound effect on my dialogue. It's kind of distorted. Hearing the video fine, John says. Thank you very much. And John Ellis also says, nice use of the tint there. Thank you. Yeah, I was trying to give you the, convey this like dramatic switch from like just this cartoonish plot to, oh no, she means business. This is a problem. This is something that we've got to address here. Glory, and she wanted to rub it in Jem's face personally. It wasn't. And I like that. I kind of consider this a computerized effect. Let me see. What is it actually called? This one's oscillation. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll speed up the audio a little bit and just pull it ahead of the previous track, so it's giving you like a glitch effect. But here I chose oscillation, and I think the point of that was to make it more dramatic sounding, because I think this sounds more dramatic than if it were the other way around. Okay, so we're just gonna play that one more time and move forward. Rub it in Jem's face personally. It wasn't about being the best anymore. It was about making sure Jem and the holograms realized how they weren't the best. That is the point of the video. Right there. That's why that's so slowed down and emphasized, is because it's like this was no longer a trip for her, like to get stardom or recognition. Like, she already got that. Now, to put her over the top, she had to bring others down. She had to bring everyone else beneath her. That's a key. That's a key to remember. And we're gonna play it from it there. the best. Pizzazz the Misfits and her Gigantamungo-sized ego strutted themselves into that benefit concert just to show off the trophy. I really like the sound of that word, Gigantamungo. It's fun to say. Try it with me. Gigantamungo. Gigantamungo. Try it with me. Comment. Gigantamungo. I expect you to use the hyphen. The hyphen's there for a reason. It makes it sound better. Gigantamungo. Especially like the use of capitalized letters in all the wrong places. Okie dokie. Right, thanks, Jiggy. Let's get back on track. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Pizzazz believed in her crooked heart that she deserved this trophy, and she thought that the holograms would be so burned, super hardcore burned, if they saw her standing there gloating with it. Fire effect, courtesy of other awesome YouTubers that upload green screen effects. Very nice. And the sound effect, also there for... It's there to reinforce the visual, but it's also there for anyone who is listening to the audio only. J-Man, Gigantamungo. I appreciate the poor use of the capitalized letter at the very end, and also the use of the hyphen. It's much easier and clearer to say when you use the hyphen. Good job, my man. So I do have to address this just because this is the creator's commentary of Cartoon Commotion Season 2, Episode 1, Gem and the Holograms. Remember when Gem won because she lost? I had to do the whole title thing just in case people are coming in late. So there's this whole section here. Like, hang on. Okay. So you might notice that these tracks say Gem won because she lost, but over here it says Gem-Fix. It might be hard to see on your screen, actually, yeah. But I'm just going to say it says Gem-Fix. That is because I recorded all of these episodes way in advance, and when I recorded this episode, this is total transparency, man. The most tubular transparency you're ever going to find on this platform. I had to re-record the whole thing because when I came back to it, I recognized that I did not give it any energy, any oomph. I was like really dry and boring. And I'm like, that is just not me. It's not... Cartoon Commotion is not boring. Like, it should be anything but boring. So I re-recorded the whole thing. And I got to be honest, when I recorded this part, I went on so long recapping everything that we already know. So I wound up deleting like half of that recording and cutting it down. And that is why this episode, even though it feels like it could be longer, was only 5 minutes. I think it's like 5 minutes and 40 seconds. And it's valid that it's only 5 minutes and 40 seconds, sure. But I really would love to make a much longer Gem video because I'm not making these short on purpose. I'm making them short because my rule of thumb is only make it as long as it remains entertaining. And this video is just not entertaining enough for me to make it longer. The subject matter was at the very end of episode 2 of the Music Awards. It's at the very end with the trophy, this whole thing. That's how come the video's amped up right here. Like, here, hang on. Like right with the trophy coming in. Right here. Gem's face personally. That is why it's so ramped up there. It's because that is where the subject really starts. Everything up until this moment was set up so that you'd understand. It was the context behind what this video is. So you needed it. You needed it, dude. Homies, you needed all that. And I cut a lot of the repeating information because you already know it. So we're left with 5 minutes and 40 seconds. I would love to make a Gem episode of Cartoon Commotion that's like 12 to 15 minutes. 15 minutes is basically my rule of thumb for like as long as I want to go, but specials are probably going to be in the 15 to 30-minute range, depending on what the special is. But regardless of like the time limits, my rule of thumb of is it still entertaining? That will never go away. I will only ever make the video as long as it remains entertaining. So where were we? We were over here with my admission of deletion. My admission of deletion. I deleted a lot of stuff from here on and I rephrased it and it turned out way better. You're about to see the results of that. Her standing there gloating with it. But what came next was an absolute gut punch to that whacked out superego. A super crushing blow that echoed through our minds in that final scene. Mr. Bean. The best reaction memes you could ever find are Mr. Bean. Pizzazz walked into the benefit concert toting her trophy by her side. Her reality of victory crumbled around her. I had this visual in my mind when I was making the video. I'm like, when I say this, I need a green screen of like things crumbling around. Oh, John Ellis says generosity really sets Pizzazz off as she always assumes others are being huge phonies. Sincerity consistently freaks her out. I recognize that. I see it. Homies, John just made an awesome point. John Ellis, the king of the cartoon commotion comment section, strikes again. That is exactly what I think whenever I see Pizzazz entering a room with Jem. It's like oil and water. It's like oil and water. All right, let's get back here. Benefit concert toting her trophy by her side. Her reality of victory crumbled around her when she saw that the event not only went off without a hitch, but everyone, and I mean everyone there, was celebrating with Jem and the holograms. A total jubilation of love and joy that made her so-called victory feel absolutely worthless, vain, and empty. The episode drew to a close, about to cut to black. We got a super close-up of Pizzazz, awestruck by this realization. She lost her grip on the trophy. It quickly fell to the floor, shattering into the nothingness that it was built upon. Pause for a sec, zone in on that moment with an instant rewind. Are you zoning in? This was a visual illustration.
What? The shattering trophy?
Dude, yes, totally. This was a picture of a hollow victory, a meaningless win, gotten only due to Jem's forfeit. And then Jem's victory was just so much greater. Showing how you care for others can impact a lifetime of memory. Showing up for someone else is a way bigger win than a trophy that you're going to put on a shelf only to collect dust. Believe it or not, it is really challenging to find clip art images of trophies that you can use copyright free and also to somehow cover them in a dust storm. This image, this whole scene, took me a good 12 to 15 minutes just to create. And it looks pretty simplistic for that, I know. But I needed the visual representation because just saying it is kind of like, well, it's not nearly as entertaining. There's a greater reward in this for Jem. Yeah, sure, the holograms rightfully should have won this. And I was doing this montage or mashup visual. Yeah, it's not really a montage. It's more like a collage. You got the one on the left and the right. They're two completely different sizes. And the reason I did that was because I kind of didn't want to put my whole image in front of her, but at the same time I also wanted to put both in the frame, and so I got the images behind both sides of me. And then what we'll do here, and what you'll see in just a second, is the images transform. They fade into the other picture, which is the contrast. So this is the compare contrast moment that just makes it all clear. John Ellis says showing is more powerful with a visual metaphor. Right on, dude. I completely agree. Friend or Stranger is a sweet little anthem. Yeah, well, all her music is like a sweet little anthem, bro. It really is. They're all great They're all great. You know, I guess some of them don't qualify as anthems. The rock ballad anthem stuff is usually more in the vein of the Misfits. They do the anthems a lot. You know, I am. Oh my goodness, that'll be in your head all night. You're welcome. Competition, but homie, which is the greater reward? Giving of yourself and your time for others, or just celebrating yourself? You see, so like the first image, they're both Gem, and then it transitions, and you see the concert that Gem was a part of, and the victory that Pizzazz was a part of. So it's clear compare and contrast moment. Let's see right here. Meaningless win, gotten only due to Gem's forfeit. And then Gem's victory was just so much greater. Showing how you care for others can impact a lifetime of memory. Showing up for someone else is a way bigger win than a trophy that you're going to put on a shelf only to collect dust. There's a greater reward in this for Gem. Yes, I also love how the trophy, I forgot to mention this. In the trophy here, you barely see it, but it just says, you won. You won. Congrats, you did it. Like this little dollar store trophy, it means something, right? And I also had to specifically find one that had a relation to music. So you got the music note going on here. As John Ellis would say, showing is more powerful with a visual metaphor. Correctamundo. Hey Nick! Hey cartoon! Hey Nick, I'm so glad you're here, man. You're coming in at sort of the tail end of things, but we'll have a little conversation afterwards, so don't go away. So you're actually at the meat and potatoes of the video. Like this is the send-off. Put on a shelf only to collect dust. There's a greater reward in this for Gem. Yeah, sure, the holograms rightfully should have won this competition. But homie, which is the greater reward? Giving of yourself and your time for others? Or just celebrating yourself?
Oh, whoa. Okay. Yeah, that's way deeper than I thought it was.
Right. And I know I have nailed this home. The coffin is shut, the horse is dead, but all the weird metaphors. I've got to tell you that this fade is actually one of my favorite parts of this video because the scene fades in as I mention it. Like I say, which is the greater reward, giving of yourself for others, or this shallow victory? Greater reward, giving of yourself and your time for others, or just celebrating yourself, and then it fades in. So it only fades in as I say it, and I think I think that effect is pretty rad. So anyway, the voice of the homies comes back in here.
Oh, whoa. Okay. Yeah, that's way deeper than I thought it was.
Right on, dude. We shouldn't shoot for the winds that shatter into meaningless nothingness. And this is hold on. This is the rewind effect. See, and I really love this transition because you can see the fade mark of the previous version of the trophy. So this is kind of like we're resetting things, we're rewinding things, and we're getting back to where it started. What counts? Homie, Gem's victory came only at the price of staying true to herself. Something that we could all stand to learn. Oh yeah, that's true, Jake. All of us except Bill and Ted who aced that masterclass on authenticity. Hey, we actually had an episode on them in authenticity. That's totally worth rewinding. We're glitching a little on my end. I don't know if we're glitching on your end, but we're glitching just a little bit on my end. I'm going to rewind just a hair because I do not want things to get lost in the glitch transitions. Authenticity. Hey, we actually had an episode on them in authenticity. It's totally worth rewinding to that tape, so why not check that out for yourself? Either way, thanks for hanging with us, and remember to keep it unreal. Now, that is a logo that I don't use very often, but I thought since I have it, what I'd like to do is start putting it in the credits at the very end. Just like it just pops up, just say Cartoon Commotion, and that is based on the Cartoon Fridays from Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network and Dexter's Lab are a big inspiration for the art style of this whole channel, if you didn't notice. And I just kind of like to keep that theme going. Oh, Nick says, sorry I missed your awesome show. No worries, dude. It's all available for replays, and these are a little bit more spontaneous. Spontaneity is key here. I just do pop-up shows where we go live and we I do a director cartoon creator commentary. He says, I heard the movie was bad. What? Oh, Gem? Yeah, we don't speak of such things. No worries, dude. Play. Okay, so like this is the very end. Like we're basically done here, but what I want to touch on is that I do the static thing at the very end. It just plays out and it doesn't, there's no fade. Oh, John Ellis says the movie does not exist. Well, that depends. Are you talking about what shall not be named, or are you talking about the movie that they made within the cartoon? Because that could be an episode of Cartoon Commotion, huh? 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 Want to see me do it again? Huh? John Ellis says the Misfits don't even turn up until the post-credit stinger. Oh, dude. I'm so glad I didn't watch that. I'm so glad I didn't watch that. Oh, no. Like, dude, that's like having G.I. Joe without Cobra Commander. I can't. No. Or Inspector Gadget without Dr. Claw. Oh, man, no. Oh, TMNT with no Shredder. Oh, you know, it can be done, but I don't know if I really care if it gets done very often. John Ellis says, granted, Keisha wasn't a bad choice for pizzazz. Okay. Or no, Kesha. Right. Okay. You know what? I like Quiche more than that. I think I'll call her Keisha. John Ellis says, but yeah, it was bad. The movie that shall not be named from here on. Okay, guys? Oh, let's not talk about that again. But anywho, so that's basically the whole episode. We're still here, though. If you guys want to chat for a little while longer, there's room to chat. We can go ahead and talk about Gem and the Holograms. We can go ahead and talk about video editing here. You got any questions? Drop them in the chat while we're still live. I'll keep it going for another 10-15 minutes. For everyone else watching the replay, if you guys don't really care for that bonus content, you can support us on www.giveacookie.net to help keep the lights on here in the Cartoon Commotion studio. Also, we are brought to you by the fine folks over at the Cereal Box Network, cerealboxnetwork.com. Those are two completely different links. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat the first one more time. That's our support link, www.giveacookie, one word, .net. And I can actually go ahead and drop that in the comment section. www.giveacookie.net. Oh, I had to show you guys. You guys didn't remind me. I had to remember when I asked you guys to remember. Why would I have to remember? I have to show you guys a thumbnail. So I have to close this and I have to open up my screen here. Entire screen. This is going to be kind of challenging. Here we go. And I'm going to pull up a thumbnail. What was the thumbnail I was going to show you? I think it had to do with Gem and the Holograms. Yeah, of course, because that's what we're talking about. It was the first episode of Gem and the Holograms. Okay, so first, this was the original thumbnail for this video, Worthless Win, and it's not as colorful or creative as the one we wound up going with. It's not as vibrant. This one stands out a lot more. Just pops. You know what? I'm going to move me over here. There we go. And we can make that full screen. So this one pops a lot more. See, like, the brightness and everything. Oh, John Ellis says, Pizzazz's only saving grace, as I see it, is on some level she does care about the other misfits, but she's terrible at expressing it. Could not agree more, dude. Could not agree more. Nick says, name the animated series with the shortest time on TV. I'm going to let everyone else answer this question, Nick, because I have gotten this right a few times when you've asked me. So everyone else, come on in and let me know. Let Nick know which is the shortest run an animated series has ever had on television. Or name the name of the series. It is not relevant to the subject matter. I'll have to say that up front. It has nothing to do with Gem and the Holograms. John Ellis says the trophy is more iconic. Yes, it is. This does stand out more. John Ellis says not sure to the question. Nick, you want to drop a hint in the chat? It'd be cool. All right, so what was the other thumbnail I wanted to show you guys? It was... I know it was Gem. Let's see, Gem. Here we go. This is the thumbnail for the first Gem and the Holograms video I did. Nick says, sorry. No, don't worry, man. I'm just asking you want to drop a hint for what that series is. Like, just drop a hint if you can. All right, so the first Gem and the Holograms video I did was this thumbnail, and you know the thing is, I've got to find the name because I honestly don't remember. I honestly don't remember the name I gave it. Let's see. Why am I typing my own name in here? Let's just go here. Oh, we're live. Look at that. Videos. Okay, it was originally considered a live stream. That's the thing. No. Okay. Okay, what happened in the video? It was one of two places. It can only be one of two places. It's either in the videos or in the live stream. Oh wait, no, it might be listed under the podcast because Kurt listed as a podcast. There it is. Gem is about selflessness. Okay, so like it's a very misleading title, but the idea is that it's sort of like it's sort of a trick because it's not really clickbait. It is about selfishness. It's just that it's more like the opposite. It's selflessness. But you know, it's more interesting to write it this way. It's more eye-catching and stuff. All right, Nick's hint is Jonathan Brandis. Dude, I remember characters better than I know or remember real people. I'm just being honest. John Ellis says, "Have we slipped into the Bernstein Bears universe?" Bernstein. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. What's that called? Mandela effect. Yeah. No, it's here. It's right here. That's available for your view. Back in the 16:9 days, every episode of Cartoon Commotion is now being produced in 4:3, glorious 4:3 format, keeping you righteously fixated on the focus of the material. John Ellis says, good. I know you're talking about not being in the wrong dimension. I appreciate that. Okay. Nick says it starred a famous martial artist, and back in the 90s, he starred in a movie with Jonathan Brandis. Oh, Jonathan Brand. Okay, so that's what you were doing. Okay. This martial artist was once a student of Bruce Lee. If nobody gets it, I'm just gonna say it, man, because I know what it is, and I'm already going over the time I was planning on. But anyway, if you want to see the original Gem and the Holograms video, it wasn't even 2 minutes. It was 1 minute and 2 seconds. This was what I considered a bonus episode, and I don't think it's even playing the audio through the computer here. We'll see. You guys could probably hear it. You guys can probably hear it. Can you hear it? Nick says, just say it. Okay, the cartoon that Nick is trying to get everyone to guess is Chuck Norris and the Karate Commandos. It had, I believe, 5 episodes in the span of 1 week. And we did analyze that. Well, we didn't. Okay, so I analyzed it. We kind of reviewed it over on Back of the Cereal Box, the flagship podcast of the Cereal Box Network. John Ellis says, oh. All right. So that is a wrap on this cartoon creator commentary. Okay, so let me get that right. This is a wrap on the creator commentary of Cartoon Commotion, Episode 1, Season 2. Remember when Gem won because she lost. Thank you all for being here, and I hope you have a great night, and keep it unreal. I'm going to play some music.